Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the final press conference for what will be a solid night of boxing in one of the great spots for boxing in the entire world, Manchester, and culminating with a world title fight. Once again, Matchroom Boxing and Sky Sports finds itself in a position of having a reigning and defending world champion taking on the challenge of an undefeated fighter, the mandatory challenger. Now, that's all going to be brought to you by Sky Sports, along with our great sponsors, Dapabet, StubHub, JD Sports, and We Buy Any House. And here to tell you more about what's going to happen on Saturday night in Manchester, courtesy of Sky Sports, Mr. Eddie Hearn from Matchroom Boxing.
Thank you, Michael. It's an honour that you're on this side of the Atlantic this week, and I think you're pretty much a permanent resident here in the UK as British boxing continues to fly. It's a huge honour to be part of this tremendous period for the sport in this country, and the world title fights just keep on coming. James DeGale just successfully defended his world title in Washington last Saturday. Anthony CROLLA defending his WBA 135-pound crown this weekend. At the end of the month, Ricky Burns challenges Michel De Rocco to become a three-weight world champion on Saturday, May 28th. And the very next day, we have a real-life Rocky story when Tony Bellew bids to reenact the final scenes of Creed and become the WBC Cruiserweight Champion of the World at Goodison Park. So it's a wonderful occasion and a wonderful period for British boxing. And I am so excited about May the 7th, this Saturday, for what I believe is the best fight in the lightweight division. I think this is, at the moment, the best and most competitive World Championship fight in England this year, and I'm so excited for Anthony CROLLA to go out and defend his world crown. It's a huge card I'm going to talk about shortly, but as always, and thanks for making the trip up today, it seems like we're at a press conference every day with Anthony Joshua's world title defence announced yesterday. We wouldn't be here without the support of our broadcast partner Sky Sports, who, despite a hot time for British boxing and other broadcasters starting to come along and say, oh, we like boxing now, these guys have consistently backed the sport over a number of years, and they will continue to do so for many years to come. Head of boxing for Sky Sports, Adam Smith.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. We just celebrated 25 years of Sky Sports, and boxing was a main part of those celebrations. Absolutely flying, as Eddie said. We've been at press conferences all over this week. Tony Bellew in Liverpool, down in London yesterday for AJ and Dominic Brazil. And up here in Manchester, one of my favourite fight cities. We go way, way back, of course. The great days of Ricky Hatton, Mike Tyson coming here, the likes of Joe Calzaghe, Prince Nassim Hamed, Nigel Benn, Carl Frost, George Groves won. What a night that was. Quick Frampton recently, you know, a fantastic arena. One of the best in the world, I think, for boxing. And what a moment when Anthony CROLLA finally fulfilled his dream of becoming a world champion. After everything he's gone through, I have so much respect for Anthony. I know we can't be biased as broadcasters in the sport, but he is genuinely such a lovely guy, and I think what he's done is a real achievement. You know, look at Leicester City this season. No one thought they could do what they did. No one thought that Anthony CROLLA, from where he was a year before he won that world title, would have managed to pull something like that off. I think it's a credit to him, to Joe Gallagher, his family and the whole team. But now he's got the added pressure of defending it against the very, very dangerous ISMAEL Barroso, who we saw, you know, rip through Kevin Mitchell in London. We know what a good fighter Kevin has been through his career. So Barroso is very, very dangerous, and my hat is really tilted to Anthony for taking this fight, taking such a tough challenge, and I cannot wait for Saturday night. I think it's a really, really good match. We've got a great card. It's terrific to see Paul Smith and Martin Murray and so many others on the bill on Saturday night. We've got the added bonus as well of the European heavyweight title fight from Germany with Pulev and Derek Chisora going at it as well. That'll be live on Sky Sports on Saturday before Anthony CROLLA. So we look forward to a terrific night of action and a great May, which obviously concludes with Messrs Burns and Bellew, big fights back to back on a Saturday and Sunday for us, which will be terrific. So good times, Eddie.
Thank you, Adam. A number of other big fighters on the card that aren't here today. Before we speak to the people that are, Tommy Coyle will return from injury in the lightweight division. Hosea Burton, the British light heavyweight champion as well. Sean Ben Mulligan and Ben Sheedy, two huge ticket sellers, sold a huge amount of tickets for the show. Callum Johnson returns, very excited about him, unbeaten light heavyweight. Warren Baster, the unbeaten cruiserweight as well. It's a stacked card on Saturday. And now to talk about some of the fights and the fighters that are here. Say young man, I think he looks particularly young today and particularly fresh. Everyone's wondering who I'm going to say. Well, that's the real Gone Kid, Paul Smith, who has strolled into the press conference looking like a 22-year-old, excited to fight again. You know, I think Paul Smith, like a lot of fighters we work with these days, I wish I would have gotten 5 or 6 years before I did, because I think sometimes you make the right fights at the right time, and sometimes you can get the true potential out of people. And when he had those 2 fights with Arthur Abraham in Germany for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World, I think it really showed the level that he was at. Went out from there and boxed Andre Ward. So you could say he had a tough 3 fights, but it was 3 fights that really, I think, have made him to decide that he is at that level and he wants to compete and he wants to be in those fights again. So Paul, back in action this Saturday, and you look really excited to be a part of it.
I am. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm looking forward to just getting back out there under the lights again. I've said this time and again, you know, you can do all the sparring you want, but you have to get out there and perform under the lights with the small gloves on and shake the rust off and get back on the horse, so to speak. You know, I've made no secret about it. I really want to win a title, and you know, I'm trying my best to get them shots and to get back up there to do it. And I think I've got to do it so I can get left out in my own house. You know what I mean? I've got to try and get a title for my own in there. So I'm happy to be back. I've been in the gym a long time now with Joe, just taking all the weight away and waiting for the date and for the opportunity to come back, and I can't wait to get back in this Saturday night.
Thanks, Paul. And to your right, a man who has a tremendous opportunity on June the 25th on the huge O2 card in an eliminator for the WBA world title against George Groves. And of course, he's got to take care of business this Saturday night. Martin Murray has been a part of some fantastic fights over the years. Of course, everybody saw him really beat Felix Sturm in Germany. Everyone saw him really beat Sergio Martinez in Argentina, only to get neither decision. Great fights with Golovkin, you know, one of the few men that took him really deep into the fight. And of course, a very close fight with Arthur Abraham as well. June the 25th will really signify the first time Martin Murray has had a huge profile fight in the UK, and he's so excited to get his hands on George Groves, and I'm so excited to be able to watch that fight and promote it. Martin, I know you're excited about that, but first things first, take care of business on Saturday night.
Yeah, obviously really excited about the Groves fight, but I've got this fight first. I'm pretty much like Smigger just said then, you know, I've been training for a long time. Last time I fought was November, and I just can't wait to get out. You know, it's, people have asked me with the Groves fight coming up, why have I took this fight, but you know, you just need to get in there. You need to go through the motion of, you know, the prep week of the fight and weighing in and carving up and just everything that goes with fighting. You know, I'm getting in there and just letting loose. So I'm looking forward to the fight this Saturday. I'll be honest with you, I've not seen much of the lot of them fighting, but you know, it's the main focus is on Groves, but not taking my eye off this fight on Saturday, and just looking forward to getting in there and taking care of business.
Thanks, Martin. One fight I'm very excited about, and I want to specifically thank these two men for stepping up and taking the challenge. I guess it's, people talk about crossroads fights. Well, I think this is a must-win for both guys if they're going to go and move on and challenge for British titles, and that's a WBC international title between Shane Singleton and Adil Anwar. Firstly, Adil, we know you've been in the gym training hard, you got the call, you're ready for the fight, and a lot of people looking forward to this one on Saturday.
Yeah, it's just a great opportunity to be on this platform, to be honest with you. We've been training, I fought in March, I stopped the kid in the first round, and then hopefully we're getting ready for the fight in May. But obviously this phone call came and we were on it. You know, it's an opportunity that I can't turn down. It's against Mr. Shane Singleton, which will be a good fight. He's also a good, strong fighter, and it'll be my time to obviously prove myself to where I belong and see where I can get to.
I know a lot of people have backed you to do big things in the division, and obviously prize fighter, we saw you in there as well. This fight live on Sky Sports as well, a fight to really re-kick your career now and move on to domestic titles.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a massive opportunity for me. So I'd like to thank you, Eddie, for getting us on this show, and hopefully I'll be able to perform and show that I am obviously on that level, and then hopefully go on further from there.
Shane, you got a big support on Saturday night. You've tasted the TV limelight before when you boxed Sam Eggington. It was a great fight. You come unstuck there. I'm sure you've learned a lot from that experience and ready to go on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. I've learned a hell of a lot from the Eggington fight. I actually thank him, to be honest with you, for that on that night, because it's made me a completely different fighter. This fight's going to be a total different fight than that was, obviously, because I've got Adil Anwar in front of me. We know he's slippery, good quality boxer, and I'm just really looking forward to the opportunity and to get my old belt back, what Sam took off me. Obviously
an important fight for your career as well. You missed out on the Eggington victory, and this is a must-win fight for you on Saturday.
Yeah, it is a must-win. It's a must-win for both of us. We both obviously want that British title, the Commonwealth title, and that's where we want to go. So I've got to win it, and I'm going to go in and do the business, and then hopefully go on and fight for the British title after that.
Thank you. Manchester is a wonderful fight city, but like any city, to grow the sport there, you need people to come along for the ride. You need the young fighters coming through. Got a huge amount of young talent on the card on Saturday from Manchester, but a young man who is now really emerging as one of the top light middles on Saturday night is Marcus Morrison. He's breezed through his initial test, and on Saturday night he has the opportunity to win his first title for the WBC international title against 16-1 Jefferson de Luisa Souza. It's a test that came up reasonably late notice, although he was always on the bill, and Joe Gallagher decided to take this risk and gamble.
Yeah, I think my apprenticeship is starting to come to an end now, and like I said, I've getting in the ring Saturday night with a hell of a lot of support, coming from all over Manchester, and it's a fight that really looking forward to. Looking forward to following the footsteps of some of the gym mates that I fought for this title, and yeah, I can't wait for it. And come Saturday night, I'll come out of that title.
Obviously, a lot of your wins so far have been against respectfully journeymen, guys who you're there to learn from. This guy comes with a very winning record, a lot of experience, and how important is it to stay calm in the atmosphere on Saturday night? You're going to be the first TV fight, plenty of support, and a different kind of test than you used to.
Yeah, I think it is a much bigger test than what I faced in the past, but I think preparation has gone very well for the fight. Sparring, I've had great sparring, sparred likes of Tom Duran, David Beaufort, like bigger lads than me, and yeah, I've held my own, and yeah, like I said, come Saturday night, I think it'll come down to skills, and at the end of the day, I think I'm the more skillful fighter, and I will be the more skillful fighter on Saturday night.
Thank you, Marcus. On to just a wonderful main event, the WBA Lightweight Championship of the World. I think we've said enough good things about Anthony CROLLA, about what's happened in the past, and what a great guy he is, and none of that really matters, because on Saturday night he has one of the best and most exciting fights in the 135-pound division when he takes on ISMAEL BARROSO. To talk about Mr. Barroso, a gentleman who we've done a lot of business with in the past, and we're delighted to welcome back the whole team from Barroso's side, Ricardo Rizzo, and his promoter, Greg Cohen.
Thank you, Eddie. It's always a pleasure to be here, work with Matchroom. They're the classiest organization in the sport, and this is just the latest in many deals we've done together. Also like to thank Sky Sports for their support of boxing on a domestic and international level is just tremendous for the sport, and we're really proud to be able to fight on Sky Sports again. When you talk about ISMAEL Barroso and Anthony CROLLA, this is what promoters and fans dream of. You have an undefeated mandatory challenger in Barroso, 19 victories, 18 of them by knockout. He's a killer, and anybody he's gotten in the ring with knows that. Now, Anthony CROLLA, what a great champion, what a great human being, and what a terrific story. The guy has come through so much adversity outside of the ring, pales in comparison to what he had to do in the ring. He won the world championship in dramatic fashion with a one-punch knockout. He could have taken a much easier road. A lot of guys have avoided Barroso. Derry Matthews vacated his title last year. He didn't want to fight Ishmael. I'm sure Anthony could have made more money to vacate the title and fight Flanagan, but he's a real champion, and he won his title, and he wants to defend his title, and I take my hat off to him. I'm just very happy to be sitting in the seat of Ishmael Barroso's promoter. He's the biggest punching lightweight in the world, one of the biggest punching lightweights of all time, and I think on Saturday night, the world's going to see a new champion with Ishmael Barroso's hand being raised. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Greg. And on to Ishmael Barroso. Been to these shores before. It's your time on Saturday night to challenge for the world title. We presume you believe you're ready.
Que bueno, primero todo muy buenas tardes y gracias por esta otra invitación. Estamos súper más que listos, muy bien preparados para enfrentar a Anthony CROLLA. Yo sé que es un gran peleador, por algo es campeón del mundo, pero nosotros vinimos con un hambre inmensa, con unas ganas inmensas. Vengo a partirte, hermano, disculpa, pero te vengo a partir, te vengo a comer, te vengo a dar un espectáculo, una gran pelea, una gran guerra.
Thank you for having us back. I've come here very hungry, believe it or not, even though I beat Mitchell. Preparation has been fantastic, and I think we're going to have a very good fight on, but there's only one winner here, and it's not going to be Anthony CROLLA.
Thank you, Joe. I thought you said a lot more than that.
Well, you cut it down. Thank you, Edward. I'll translate for you.
Normally you make some up. Thank you, Joe. We believe you. We believe that was definitely what any of our Spanish friends, I'm sure you'll translate in full for us later. A man who is, I'd like to think I was one of the busiest guys in British boxing, but this guy definitely is up there. He is, as I always say in all interviews, without doubt the biggest pain in the arse in British boxing, but he's also one of the most hard-working, dedicated trainers in world boxing, and one of the best trainers in world boxing. And as always, on Saturday night, he has 5 fighters on the card, I think, or something like that. So he's in and out of that changing room. And a big night for Joe Gallagher on Saturday night.
Cheers, Ed, thanks. First of all, I just want to thank everyone for coming out today, especially some people in the media. I know Vegas was a tastier option, but at least we've got the sunshine here in Manchester for you, but thanks for coming. Also want to say a huge thanks to Sky Sports, Adam Smith, and first and mostly Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn, who has the keys to the safe down there at Matchroom. And Eddie knows what I'm talking about, but for really looking after Anthony CROLLA in this fight. He kept his word, and I really want to thank you for that, Ed. Yeah, busy night, Saturday night, obviously Marcus Morrison, and that's the thing when Anthony CROLLA, Scott Quigg, I think it's 3 years ago, started doing shows together, started giving people the chance, the opportunity of the young kids in Manchester to start coming through. Obviously Manchester's been starved of big time boxing here for a while, featuring their own. Obviously we've had the Froch fights here and David Hay, but then when Scott Quigg and Anthony CROLLA and Paul Smith, they all headlined on a show in Bolton, and since then it's snowballed, and now we've got Scott Quigg headlining events himself and Anthony CROLLA, and it gives the people like Marcus Morrison, Jose Burton and other kids from Manchester chances to develop. And with Marcus now he gets an opportunity to fight for his first title on Saturday night. As far as Paul Smith, great to have Paul Smith back. Paul Smith, I don't think people really know, it's been 2 years since Paul Smith's been in the ring and had his arm raised. That's been that long with the 2 fights with Abraham and then with Andre Ward. So it's great to get Paul Smith back fighting on home soil again. And he's still, if I think Paul didn't have nothing left, I'd be the first to tell him I do feel Paul still does have something to offer, and I do feel he can become world champion. Obviously Jose Burton is on, Callum Johnson, who's gone through a tough time of late, he's back on the card, which is great to be surrounded by his teammates going through a difficult time, and all the support there on the night will help him through, which will be a very emotional night for Callum Johnson Saturday night. Going to the main event, Anthony CROLLA. There's lots of talk of Barroso being a dangerous fighter and a big puncher, and his record shows that he is. But he's had 2 draws in there. He's on a good win of 10 knockout wins on the bounce. His last points fight was 5 years ago. But people forget Anthony CROLLA carries some pop in his shots as well. Obviously he knocked Darlis Perez, who went the distance from Gamboa. He knocked him out in 5 rounds. He stopped John Murray in 11 rounds. He stopped Stephen Foster, knocked Michael Watson out, John Watson out, so and outboxed Willie Lemon. So people have got to remember Anthony CROLLA carries a bit of pop-up going into this fight, and the one thing with Barroso, from what I'm hearing, I don't think he seems to handle a shot that well, so we're very respectful of Barroso coming over here and his power, but there's one thing for sure, he will get hit in this fight. He didn't against Kevin Mitchell, but he will get hit in this fight, and a lot of questions will be answered about Barroso on the night that Anthony has already answered during his career, his ups and his downs. But I'm expecting a real tough fight, and Anthony CROLLA to come out there with the support behind him, still world champion. He's had a great training camp, we've had some quality southpaw sparring in. I want to thank all them that have helped us. Maxie Hughes, Phil Sutcliffe Jr, and now it's just all about fight night and getting in there and taking care of it. And Paul Smith pissing about on Snapchat as always. But listen, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out, and if you've got nothing to do tonight on ITV 7:30, the Tonight Show, Anthony CROLLA will feature in that, which is a fantastic programme about people intervening and doing the right thing, and I urge you all to tune in and watch that tonight, and thanks for the support, and it's great to have big time boxing back at the arena Saturday night, and it'll be a successful one as well. Thank you.
Over to the champ, Anthony CROLLA. I remember when ISMAEL Barroso knocked out Kevin Mitchell at the O2, I was thinking, how are we going to swerve this one? You came over to me smiling, saying, oh great, you know, I'm going to fight him. And I said, yeah, you are. And a lot of people felt like you wouldn't want to take this challenge, and obviously he was our mandatory challenger, but you were the guy who says, no, I want to fight Barroso. My belt's going nowhere and I have to do my duty and meet my responsibilities. And it's a fight that I feel you're excited about, and one that you've got your teeth into camp.
Yeah, certainly. I think when ISMAEL Barroso put on that great performance against Kevin Mitchell, a lot of people did think that I was going to try and avoid the fight, but if anything, it got my back up a little bit. I think when you're world champion, you go there and you try and take on the very best challengers, and ISMAEL Barroso certainly fits that. He's, like I said, the most dangerous lightweight on the planet, I'd say. And Saturday night, I really believe style's going to gel for a fantastic fight. In the fight, like I say, I've worked so hard to get this title, and there's no way that I want to let it go. So I will do whatever it takes on Saturday night to make sure I come out with that, and I will do. Whether I have to outbox ISMAEL at times, whether I have to stand there and fight with him, a bit of both. And that's what I'll do, but I'm confident I'll come through. And I think that'll state my claim that I'm one of the very best lightweights, if not the very best lightweight in the world. As for fighting on the show, it's great to be fighting alongside so many great fighters, having a great man introducing me, Michael Buffer, and like you say, thank you for this opportunity, Adam, who delivered for me again. And on Saturday night, I plan on delivering myself. So I'm looking forward to what's going to be a great fight with against a fantastic fighter. And yeah, tune in.
People talk about ISMAEL Barroso's power, obviously he's probably sick of hearing it now, but how much does that make you switch on if you get the tactics 100% right?
Yeah, I know there's no room for error on the nights, and I'm a realist, and I know ISMAEL Barroso has got the power to win fights with one punch. If I'm not switched on Saturday from the start, I could be in trouble, and I could be in trouble early, and that's why I can't let that happen. Like I say, I think a lot of my strength and power will be overlooked myself, but that just gives me that added fear factor, and that just makes you that bit sharper, that gets you out of bed that little bit earlier, just pushes you that little bit harder in the gym, and that's what this fight has done. I'm certainly feeling the best shape of my career, which I will be, which I am, sorry, and which I'll have to be, but that's what it'll take.
Thank you. This is a wonderful fight, and it's always my job to remain on the fence, but it's very difficult with this one. And I believe Anthony CROLLA is going to surprise a lot of people on Saturday night.
Barroso wants to say something to Mr. CROLLA.
Creo que estás hablando mucho para lo que vas a durar el libro.
I think you're talking too much for the amount of time you're going to be in the ring.
Did you really say that? That's cool, Ismael. We will see. Tell him we'll see.
Sorry, say that.
Just tell him we'll see.
Make anything up you want.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Tenemos que quitar al promotor. No. Él ha dicho que a ver lo que va a pasar en la noche. Tú, repito, dile otra cosa más.
Joe, you can tell him this. He picked the wrong guy.
Ahí lo que va a pasar es una guerra.
He picked the
Una
wrong
guerra.
Listen to it. Hang on.
Una guerra lo que va a pasar esa noche va a ser una gran pelea, va a ser la mejor pelea de mi vida, créanme.
It's going to be a war. It's going to be the best fight of your career and his career, and he will win.
I agree with all of that.
Todavía no me han visto pelear todavía no me han visto pelear y todavía no me han visto soltar. Que cuando peleé con Kevin Mitchell yo creo que estaba calentando en el quinto round. Y bueno, imagínate, de sexto para arriba para allá, si es que aguanta el pelea.
When I fought with Mitchell, I was just getting warmed up when I knocked him out. He says, "You haven't seen me fight yet. You're going to see the best of the best there, and the best 135-pounder there is."
I'm looking forward to it. I always want to fight the best, and listen up.
Él va a mirar por la pelea, dice que tiene que boxear con.
On Saturday, I'm very confident I'll
Dice,
come out
buena
champion.
suerte.
Buena suerte, nos vemos el sábado.
Good luck.
Same to you.
You can tell Ismael he picked the wrong guy to have bad blood with. And Anthony beats them with a smile.
Tú sabes que él no le gusta insultar a los boxeadores, a Anthony CROLLA, entonces a él le gusta reírse un poquito.
No, a mí tampoco, pero tú sabes, para poner algo de entretenimiento.
He said, I don't like it either, it's just to make a fight.
Okay, well, tell him he started it, now be quiet.
El promotor dice que tú lo empezaste y que te quedes callado.
So, that was good fun. Thank you, Ismael. And actually, two genuinely nice guys. I think he is right. This is going to be a war. This is going to be a great fight. And Anthony CROLLA is going to come out triumphant, I believe, and retain his WBA lightweight championship of the world. Great night of action. We're going to be in this same room tomorrow for the weigh-in at 1 p.m. Please, everybody's welcome. The great man, the Hall of Fame MC, Michael Buffer, will be leading and calling the shots. Get down here at 1 o'clock and don't miss Saturday night. We're live on Sky Sports 1 from 7:30 with all these great guys. The European title challenge between Pulev and Chisora, and then around 10:45, something like that, Anthony CROLLA defending his WBA lightweight title. We're going to have photos up here, a couple of head-to-heads, and all the guys are available for one-on-ones. Thank you very much, and thank you, Joe, for your translation.